The New York Jets season so far has been a flat out nightmare. It's been awful, right? I mean, you want to talk about issue after issue. It's been hard to watch, right? The Jets are 2-5 on the season, 3 wins beneath 500. We are now multiple games out of first place within the AFC East. The Bills, on the other hand, are 5-2 and they keep winning football games. It just feels as though the team is reeling. They're searching for answers and they're coming up empty-handed. I can't exactly pinpoint why the Jets just look flat, and I just feel shoot themselves in the foot over and over. It's just nauseating. It's just disgusting to watch weekly. If it happens once in a blue moon, okay, it's understandable. If it happens, one game every month, it's annoying, it's frustrating, but you know what? It is what it is. It happens every week, and it's just mind-blowing, right? I mean, we come into Pittsburgh. I felt as though this was a must-win game, not only just for, record purposes. I would much rather be 3-4 than 2-5. That just feels like just two completely different levels. But also from the mentality of the team, right? In the locker room, right? Put yourself in Garrett Wilson's shoes. Put yourself in Breece Hall's shoes. And, take your pick on whoever you want. It's 2-5 is a tough hole to dig yourself out of, right? This is a primetime game against a very, very good Steelers football team, who, a team that I think is a playoff team. Good defense. They're well coached. They come in with a plan every week. They really do a good job of just taking care of the football. They're kind of like the anti-Jets. They don't beat themselves at all. They're top 5 in penalties and they're top 5 in turnovers, which is really, really positive for them. So we could take a page out of their book. But anyway, the point is we roll into the game as a 2-4 club reeling, right? On a 3-game losing streak. We needed that freaking win, man. We needed it. In a game that I feel as though it's a must-win playoff game. Aaron Rodgers actually addressed it in the post-game presser. He said it himself, right? Things felt flat. The energy was not there before the game. The energy was not there at halftime. And, he did take some accountability in, suggesting that he needs to do a better job of maybe bringing some energy, to the locker room, to the organization and whatnot. But, it was weird. I mean, as a fan, I was sitting here states away from the game, and I felt a lack of energy. Why is that the case? The season, although, we're not technically mathematically eliminated, the season is damn near on the line, right? You cannot afford to get your doors blown off like this, and that's exactly what happened tonight. It's so damn frustrating. I mean, the Jets were actually the Vegas favorite going into the game, -1.5. And how much did we lose by? It's just embarrassing. And what really just gets to me as a fan is that this is now 4 straight L's. It would be one thing if we had a couple wins and this is a blip on the radar and we keep it moving, right? That happens. Good teams lose any given Sunday. This is the National Football League. It is what it is. But we blew it against, actually, you know what? Rewind. Let's take it from the top, right? Week 1, humiliated primetime football against the 49ers without Christian McCaffrey. Taylor comes in and runs all over us. Tons of problems all over the place. Week 2, we get a win against the Tennessee Titans, but you kind of felt as though the Jets escaped, right? We won by 1 score. The Titans just had egregious errors, right? Will Levis just launching the ball in a double coverage for a pick. Just making a stupid decision in the red zone, turning the ball over again. They had the pump block. You felt as though Tennessee kind of gave the game away. Not necessarily saying that the Jets would have lost if it wasn't for those errors, but it just wasn't a convincing W. They come back at home on a short week, MetLife, and beat the New England Patriots. Sweet, we're 2-1. We actually looked really, really good. But the Pats aren't good, right? And on top of them not being a good team, they had a million injuries. So yeah, we're 2-1, fantastic, right? We have to beat the teams that we're better than, and sometimes you just got to grind it out. Sometimes you just got to grind out those wins. It's not going to be, a cakewalk every week. I don't care who you're playing. You could be playing the worst team in football with a bunch of backups. If you struggle in the game, you struggle in the game. You just got to take the wins where they are and seize the moment. Some games are tougher than others. It's just a fact. So we're 2-1. And you're thinking, okay, you know what? We laid a good foundation. We laid some groundwork in that Patriots game. Let's see what happens against a Denver Broncos team where we're at home. We have, 11 days to prepare for the game. Nathaniel Hackett knows that Broncos team, obviously not top to bottom because it's been a year plus since he's been there. And we lose 10-9. It's a monsoon out. Bo Nix has negative passing yards at halftime, and somehow, the Jets lose the game to Denver. We had a chance to win, couldn't capitalize. Fly over to London, same situation, confusion. Everyone, there's just errors, mental errors, physical errors, drops, penalties, wasting timeouts, delay, whatever it is. It's problem after problem. We shoot ourselves in the foot. We lose again, right? Had a chance to win. We don't follow through. We don't get in the end zone. We come up short. Another loss. Same situation in Buffalo. Now we get to Pittsburgh. This time it's completely different. In the 3 losses before, Denver, Minnesota, Buffalo, we were in it to the end. We had a chance to win on a last minute drive. We just couldn't get it done. This go round, we just got blown off of the field. And keep in mind, this is the game with Davante Adams. The previous 3, we didn't have Davante. And Davante's kind of been the selling point of the Jets organization for a long time, right? Davante Adams this, Davante Adams that. We finally got him. And, I'm not, pinning this loss on Davante Adams clearly, but 15-37, yeah, there's more than one issue. So to be in this situation, right, big critical game, and to play like that, to lose like that, in that fashion on prime time, and then to hear Aaron Rodgers post game, right after the game, talk about a lack of energy, I'm not gonna lie, that concerns me deeply. That I have my doubts, my questions. And Aaron couldn't pinpoint exactly why there wasn't that kind of just juice and fire, why it felt flat. Again, I felt it as a fan through the TV. I think a lot of Jets fans kind of just felt like, okay, after that first interception, game felt over. Do playoff teams get beat in the second quarter when one thing goes awry? No, absolutely not. You could have the entire kitchen sink thrown at you, and if there's a chance to win in the end, that playoff team says, hey, you know what, we got a chance and we're going to make it happen. But for us, it's just like we get decked in the face and we just can't get up off of the mat. And, look, Pittsburgh is by far the mentally tougher team. They were down in the game. They had, weird situations. They had a lot of punts early. They clawed back, they found a way to win, and they dominated in the second half. They were the physically tougher team as well. Tackling. I mean, there were moments where Najee Harris was just carrying 2 to 3 defenders with him, and the ref would have to blow the play dead for, based off of forward progress. They couldn't even get him down. I mean, the amount of times that I just see these guys getting trucked over, it's just really disheartening, right? I want my safeties, I want my corners to be, the toughest dudes on the field, right? Like just jackhammers flying down the field and just coming in delivering hits. I don't care if the tight end has, an extra 25 pounds on you. Come in and level that dude. It's just not there. We just don't have the physical toughness on defense. If you want to talk about stopping the run, that's clearly not there. It really feels as though we struggle big time with the big physical imposing backs or guys that run low to the ground. It's just difficult, right? It's just difficult to watch this defense. It just looks like a shell of themselves. And granted, some guys are hurt, but you know what? This Jets regime is out of excuses. No more excuses. Every team in football is hurt. Every team in football is it. I mean, the Buffalo Bills 5-2. They're making work all of the absences that they've had this previous offseason. Trey White, Poyer, Hyde, Diggs. You factor in the injuries. Matt Milano, Bernard's missed time. He actually got hurt again today. I don't know the seriousness of that injury. It looked like a head injury. There's injuries all over the place. And teams are finding ways to make it work. So, yeah, it sucks to lose these players. ABT goes down. Obviously, thinking about Xavier Newman, DJ Reed's hurt, Michael Carter's hurt. But, at some point, we just cannot, point the finger at something other than ourselves And by ourselves, I mean, the Jets internally looking themselves in the mirror. It can't always be an external issue. And, being a fan of this team, this regime has really avoided, I want to say, a lot of the blame, right? It's oh no, it's Adam Gase. It's no, we're a young rebuilding team. It's, oh, we're starting a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson. Oh no, it's Mike LaFleur's fault. We're going to fire him. We bring in Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, no, it's Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. Oh, no, it's we didn't sign a backup quarterback. Oh, no, Hackett sucks. Oh, no, now we're going to fire Robert Saleh and promote Ulbrich. It's one excuse after another. At some point, teams just have to walk the walk. It would be one. I would have a completely different mindset if this was year 1 or year 2 of the Saleh, Joe Douglas, regime here, but we have seen draft class after draft class after draft class, free agent signing after free agent signing, QB acquisition after QB acquisition, and it's just up to this point, it just has not worked. Now, Rodgers actually had a cool comment. He's like, hey, you can't go on a 10-game winning streak without getting that first one. I thought that was pretty sweet, but he's right. I don't want to see the players sell out and throw their hands up and look all discouraged and, not come to the stadium with energy and whatnot. Like, that's not a winning mindset, right? The mindset right now within the organization, within the locker room, and I don't know who's, who's going to be the guy that delivers that message or, walks that walk. I'm going to assume it's going to be Aaron Rodgers because he's actually been there and done that before. And it also seems like he's the biggest leader right now of the organization. I think the message should be, we're not mathematically eliminated. There's a chance. Backs against the wall mentality, right? We got to fight, scratch, claw our way to W's no matter how we do it, right? Just leave everything out in the field. Leave everything out in the field, right? Play every single down, every single game like it's your last. And I think if we do that, we're going to see a different team. I think we're going to see a team come up more successfully in the big time critical situations. I'm talking 3rd downs, 4th downs, red zone, 2-minute. I think if the message is, and I don't want to sound cliche here, but if it's kind of that, us against the world type of, philosophy here, I think that would actually bode well for a lot of the younger players who, in this day and age, social media is a thing, and the headlines and TV and all these different media outlets, all the negativity's all over the place. Then you stack on top of it the 4 straight losses. Yeah, it feels like the negativity's at an all-time high with this regime. So that's obviously, not going to help. Rodgers actually said in his post game, answering a question, not listening to you guys in, referring to media and headlines and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty funny. But anyway, I think really that should be the message. That should be the goal, right? Us against the world. We have the power to turn things around. Look, if we were mathematically eliminated, there's really nothing we can do. But we're not, and there's still a chance. And until we're mathematically eliminated, we got to give it 1,000%, 110% effort every single down, every single day in practice, every single practice rep. And again, I think if the Jets do that, I don't think we're going to win every game, but I think we're going to be in a better position than we are now. And quite frankly, a lot better position right now. Talent is not an issue. The Jets lead the league in stars. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, Aaron Rodgers, Sauce, all these different guys, right? No more excuses. It's time to get wins. Has time ran out? I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell, I guess. But I guess I'll leave it with this, right? Leave off on this. The Jets have the power here. The Jets have the power. We are not losing games because we don't have the talent. If we can just get out of our own way and get mentally tougher, right? Thicken up the skin, I think we'll look a lot better. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, go Jets.